Alright guys, this is a kind of late. I'm kind of late to all this news, really, not really, but a few days late, and this is the Doug Pederson hiring and my take on it, and I basically had to have a little hot take this video that let's be in store for, and let's get into it. Alright, Doug Pederson, he was the coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, was a quarterback before that. He turned the Eagles franchise around by winning a Super Bowl in 2018, and he was a coach around that time. And also, he was kind of the downfall of the Eagles too. Now that you look at the Eagles, well, he wasn't really the downfall, but like he was a part of the downfall of the Eagles. Now that you look at the Eagles, most of those guys that was there in the 2018 season is pretty much gone. Carson Wentz at the Colts. Now that Doug Pederson's at the Jaguars, Fletcher Cox is getting old. They're all getting old, but I feel like the Eagles have a bright future. But we're not talking about the Eagles this video. We're talking about the Doug Pederson hiring, and I think this is a very good hiring because how much of an offensive mind Doug Pederson is, and also how he was an NFL quarterback. I think that he can have some experience and give some of that experience to Trevor Lawrence. And let's not forget that what is it called? Carson Wentz was a MVP candidate before he got hurt that season, and he still led Nick Foles to the playoffs. Well, they still walked through the playoffs with Nick Foles as quarterback, and that's all you have to need to know. That he can progress with Trevor Lawrence. I also want to say that this offensive minded skill that he has might influence on the other team. I think they might need some new receivers, but because if you look at the film, their spacing is terrible. I don't think the Jaguars receivers are as good as people say they are. Like Chenault, I think that he is kind of, overrated. And DJ Chark, he's pretty decent. And you could see that in the film. Like, if you watch, one game or something like that, I get that they were under Urban Meyer, but there's no reason your receivers should be bumping into each other and falling on because of each other because they're bumping into each other. I could possibly be seeing the Jaguars not having a top 5 pick. This might hunt me back, but I can see them not having a top 5 pick depending how this offseason goes. I don't know how long I'm going to stay with this take, but I think I'll like what Doug Pederson is going to put on for the Jacksonville Jaguars and what he's going to do for this organization, because I think he can become a good NFL coach, and I think he is probably one of the best offensive-minded coaches in the league. Well, not one of the best, but he's a great offensive mind, and I think he can help this young team out with Travis Etienne, James Robinson, and probably some better receivers. But DJ Chark is good, and the receiver core is kind of terrible, but there's something you can work with. They're pretty young also, I didn't mention, so they still can be developed, and you might have to fix that O-line. And also, one other thing that I forgot to mention about the Jacksonville Jaguars, the defense is stacked, and probably with their first pick, they're gonna take Tavon Thibodeau or someone like that, and he's gonna be dominant. Or Aiden Hutchinson, I think his name is. So your pass rush is gonna be consisting of a 1 or a 2 pick and Josh Allen, and then you have Miles Jack and Tyson Campbell, who could probably develop, and that secondary could be something they could fix in the draft. Also, you might have to have some free agent pickups. This is an interesting free agency, and I think that Doug Pederson is going to need a few years to develop his team to a Super Bowl team or a contending team in the playoffs, actually. So that's my take about Doug Pederson. I think he's going to be a coach that you might have to keep for the long term, and I think he can turn this future around for the Jaguars. Now that I look at this take can be terribly wrong. Like, imagine he's just like a Urban Meyer, but I'm not going to jinx it. I think he can be a good coach. Let's just keep it like that. Don't come back to this video.